Are you curious about polyrhythms and how to use them in your solos? Today I'm going to show you a practical and musical way to use a 3/4 polyrhythm in your solos. This is a really cool effect that creates tension and interest. Basically, it will amaze your friends along with your bandmates and your audience. I'm going to teach you the basic idea, then towards the end of the video, as a bonus, I'll show you how to experiment with other polyrhythms in solos you create. By the way, if you're new to Brad Allen Drums, I'm a former U.S. Army drummer based out of Kansas City. I'm also a private drum teacher who has helped many different students master the art of drumming, including my student Joel McCoy, who is now a professional drummer in Nashville. Okay, first of all, let's talk about what a polyrhythm is. Most of the definitions I see on the internet are pretty complex and confusing. The best way to understand it is that you put two or more rhythms together in a somewhat unusual and unexpected way. And this basically creates two different pulses in the music. It can sometimes sound like you're playing two different time signatures at once. There are many different ways to use polyrhythms on the drums. Today I'm going to stick with one idea, then we'll use it in several different solo ideas. First, I'm going to demonstrate the idea used with a funk beat, since that's the easiest way to understand it. I'll do one measure of funk beat and then one measure of a polyrhythmic solo. Okay, first of all, how do we learn to play that without getting lost? Without losing a sense of where we are in the measure? You want to count out loud in the beginning and take it slow. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and. Now, why does this sound interesting? Well, basically, you're used to hearing 16th notes in groups of 4. But because I'm playing a repeated 3-note pattern, your ear starts to perceive 3/4. One other thing that you really need to understand is this. Anytime you play something rather unusual like this, it's very important how you end the fill or solo. You have to make it very clear to the band where the end of the measure is, or they won't know where to come back in on one. They'll be totally lost. So in this example, I ended with 2 eighth notes on the snare drum, and that's very clear and easy to hear. Now that you understand it in a funk setting, let's try it with a rock beat. So this works really well with rock too, because rock makes a lot of use of 16ths along with eighth notes, and all the examples I'm going to show you here work well with the rock beat as well as with the funk beat. Speaking of beats, I've got something that will really help you with those. I have a list of 10 beats that all drummers should know that I'd like to send you absolutely free. I've also created a video showing you how to play each beat. Again, all free. Just follow the link in the video or in the comments below to get a free copy. Okay, back to the solo idea. You should practice it a lot until you're comfortable with it, then move on to the next examples I'm going to show you. So now that we have the basic idea and can use it in a 1-measure fill or solo, what about longer fills or solos, such as 2 measures? The first thing I could do is I could just extend the idea for 2 measures. I'll demonstrate real slow so you can hear what that sounds like. Now personally, I don't like that. It's very technical, but it quickly starts sounding very repetitious. It sounds like a machine. That's probably not what we want. Here's what I think is a much better idea, a more musical idea. For the first measure, I'll play the polyrhythmic solo idea, and for the second measure, I'll improvise something that fits well with the idea. Probably something based on 16th notes. Practice this on your own, and depending on what level you're at, just keep the improvised measure very simple. Just play some 16th notes that sound good. Let's extend the idea for longer drum solos. Let's do 4 measures of funk followed by a 4-measure solo. For the first measure, I'll play the idea I just taught you, and for the second measure, I'll improvise something that fits well with it. Then on the third measure, I'll play the polyrhythmic idea again, only I'll move the right hand to the small tom instead of the hi-hat for variation. Then for the last measure, I'll improvise some 16th notes again. Again, the same as before. Practice this idea just like I did, but improvising something simple for the measures where I improvised. Keep in mind that it's the repetition that creates the tension. So rather than moving the idea constantly around the set, it's better to just repeat the same 3 drums or cymbals over and over. Okay, here's another 4-measure possibility. I'm going to play the first idea in the first measure. I'm going to move the right hand to the small tom for variation in the second measure. I'll improvise the third measure, then I'll return to the first idea for the fourth measure. I mentioned a bonus earlier to expand this idea. In these examples I showed you, I took 16th notes and grouped them into 3-note patterns to create something unusual and interesting. You could do the same thing, only backwards. You could take triplets and create 4-note groupings for your solos. This would also work well with sextuplets, since those are 2 groups of 3. So 4-note groupings of sextuplets would also sound really interesting. Remember to repeat the same pattern over and over for best effect. This can work for rock, it can work for jazz, it can work for basically anything. As I mentioned earlier, I have 10 of the beats that all drummers should know that I'd like to send you absolutely free. Just follow the link in the video or in the comments below to get a free copy. Okay, now name one of your favorite soloists. Please comment below. I'll start. I'm a big fan of Steve Gadd. Or if you just want to comment helpful, that would be really awesome. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week. Thank you for watching, and I have a great video about learning how to solo on the drums that I know will really help you as well. Please watch that next, and I'll see you for the next video.